Hi everyone, it's Jess, aka Colouring Bumblebee, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today I am continuing my colouring book collection. Today I am focusing on the artist Rita Berman. She was another one of those first artists that I purchased and I started my colouring journey with. Mine, Rice Dirt, Europa and the Seasons book were the first two I bought and had for quite a few months before I bought anything else. So there's lots of old colourings in these. And yeah, let's just get straight into the video. So I thought I'd start with the Seasons book. And I've coloured a few pages in this one. Not that many though. I have done this cute bunny one. This was a buddy colour with, I think it was colouring with Anna. It was a lot of fun to colour. Nice simple colour scheme. I believe I used the Staedtler Design Journey pencils on that one. This was a really fun page to colour. I followed along with Shell's colouring journey to colour this. I think I used my Brute Fina squares, some metallic glitter gel pens, details, soft pastel for the background. And yeah, I love how this turned out. It's one of my favourite pages I've ever coloured actually. My dad's favourite animal is otters, so every time I colour an otter, I always think of him. I'd love to colour the opposite page in a similar style, but I just haven't got back round to it. This I started last year during the springtime. I was really excited to colour this page, coloured all the leaves, started on the purple flowers, and then I just lost motivation for it. This was meant to be a buddy colour with the lovely Colouring Savvy on Instagram. She's a great friend of mine. And I said to her, look, I'm not feeling motivated to colour this anymore. Is it okay if I cancel the buddy colour? Which she was of course okay with. And I always say the same as well. If you're not feeling a page, just let me know. Doesn't matter if we need to cancel it. It's still another page coloured. It's still fun for me to even just plan them. I did this dragonfly. I remember colouring this downstairs on the couch with watching TV downstairs. Got lots of glitter gel pen around the wings. And I believe I used the Creative Peaks on this page. Yeah, I just picked out a few colours. It was a lot darker than I intended, but I didn't bother looking at swatches, I just coloured away. This is one of the more recent pages I coloured. This was a buddy colour last year at the end of summer. In fact, I finished this in September, and I love how it turns out. I knew I wanted to go for a primary colour scheme with the red, yellow and blue. I like the pops of orange with the fish down here. Love how the grass turned out. Yeah, just a really fun, bright, happy page. I used my Black Widows on this. This, I think, might have been the first page I coloured in this book. I haven't got a date written on it, so it must have been before September of 2022, because that's when I started writing dates on it. So coloured this in my first summer of colouring. And yeah, I just picked a fun colour scheme that I found online and just went for it. I think I started colouring off sort of the lemons because I knew I wanted those to be yellow, and then just sort of disperse the colours. I think it could do with a bit more green on the page, but other than that, it's quite a fun one. I started this page when I first got the book, I think it was that summer. I had a lot of fun sort of colouring all the fruits and veg, and I think it got to the autumn time or the winter time and I just didn't feel like colouring fruits and vegetables anymore. This is a page I would like to come back to, but yeah, some of my shading, I left a lot of white. I was experimenting with that, and I think I maybe left a bit too much white on sort of these tomatoes and watermelon, things like that. It's quite a harsh highlight, but I think it would be nice to see this page all complete eventually one day, hopefully. This one took me ages to colour. I really enjoyed colouring it though. This took me pretty much, I think, the whole of autumn in 2022. I just saw the page, immediately had an idea for it and went for it. I think looking at this, I used a combination of my Brute Funa macarons and squares. And in the macarons, definitely for this grass colour here. And I think the squares for everything else. Yeah, I really enjoy how this page turned out. I started this page last year. I can't remember who was doing it, but someone was hosting a hashtag for colouring Rita Berman's pattern pages. And I saw this one and I thought, this will look awesome with some metallic watercolour. So I did that. And then I didn't feel like doing anything else. I'd like to come back to it eventually. But because of the sort of coppery colour and it's in the autumnal section, I think I probably won't go back to it until next autumn. This one was a buddy colour. Can't remember who it was with, but this was a cute page to colour. It's quite a quick one. I think I used a colour palette inspiration for this as well. And looking at the pencils, I want to say it was my Brute Funa squares. Yeah, it has to be. I coloured this in October 2022. That was pretty much all I coloured with back then, was my Brute Funa squares. It wasn't until the new year when I got any more pencil sets. That's why I like dating my pages, so I can look back and reminisce on when I coloured it. I started this advent calendar page in 2023. I got up to day 14 and didn't get any further. Work for me gets very busy around the Christmas period, and I sort of got to a point where I wasn't colouring in the second half of the month. I believe this was with my Brute Funa squares as well. Is it? No, this is... Hang on, what are these numbers? No, this is the Arteza Expert pencils, actually. Yeah, I decided to pick a bit of a different colour palette. I've got all my colours written down so I can come back to it at any point. But I didn't colour anything last year and didn't finish it the year before, so that's still waiting to go. I love this double page spread. I coloured each page separately. So, although I coloured them quite close together, I finished this on the 15th of December and this one on the 16th of December. I think I did the background all at the same time, this sort of bokeh effect with some soft pastels. And then I erased circles with a circle stencil. Yeah, had a lot of fun with these pages. I Brute Funa squares again, lots of gold and glittery pen on both of the pages. This one did cause me a bit of trouble of this sleeve confuses me so much because it looks like this bag like molds into the sleeve. It's confusing to me, but I sort of just coloured it and decided to ignore it whilst I was colouring it, otherwise it would really bother me. But yeah, that is all of my coloured pages from the Seasons book by Rita Berman. Then I have Die Welt unter der Lupe Zulande, and I've only got a couple coloured in this book, which is a shame. I really love this book. It's one of my favourites by her. This one I did last year. I remember colouring the leaves when I wasn't feeling very well, and I just needed some mindless colouring to do, so I picked a combination of pencils and just coloured away. And to start, it was very relaxing, and then it got very boring as I sort of became better, and then it took me quite a while to figure out what I wanted to do for the animals, and I decided to just colour it regardless of how I coloured the leaves, just colour how I wanted to, not really worrying about the sort of dispersion of colour like I often do. This I think was coloured with Brute Funa squares, it looks like. But yeah, I'm glad I've coloured this one, as I think now it's not something I would reach for, but it looks amazing all coloured. Still working on this egg page. I've shown it a couple times in my videos recently. Working on that one, hopefully to finish for Easter time. And then I coloured this mouse page. For me, technically, it seems to be in the summer section, but it gives autumnal vibes to me. I remember finding a colour palette online, and it was a lot of these browns, reds and pinks, so I decided to stick to that. It took a lot of sort of avoiding temptation to not colour the leaves green, as I always colour leaves green, but I thought, no, I want to stick to this colour palette. I don't want to introduce a new colour, so I decided to go for brown for the leaves. Yeah, this was coloured with Black Widows, I think, and I believe that is all I have coloured in this book so far. So yeah, I definitely need to colour more in this one. Die Welt unter der Lupe Zulande by Rita Berman. Then I've got Meine Reise durch Europa. This was my first Rita Berman book, and I think it is still my favourite of hers. I just love all the images in it. It reminds me of where I live, which is England in Europe, technically, even though we've left the EU. But yeah, I just love all of the images in this, and I could see myself finishing it one day. It'll take quite a while though. I coloured this page, I believe, with Brute Funer's squares. It looks like it. And I decided to channel a bit of Rita Berman in this centre sort of turtle area with the houses. I sort of blended multiple colours together, which is a bit unusual for me. Yeah, I like how that turned out. I remember finding a limited colour palette with the sort of the purple, the teal, the green, the pink, the yellow. Yeah, love how that turned out. I've done these two pages. I coloured this one first, and then I copied the colours from that across to here. This isn't my favourite page. I think it looks quite simplistic, but I wanted to use the similar colours from this page across to that one. I think I could have added a background, but I'm happy with how it is as it is. This I started last year, and it's something that I started by starting with all of these gold circles, and then I thought I'd chip away at each circle as I go. I've made some good progress on this side, but this side hasn't had much done to it yet. I've coloured in the background of this one and a few leaves, but that's about it. I know I use my Arteza pencils on this one. Yeah, it just needs to be something that I go back and finish eventually, hopefully. This I know was the first page I did in the book. I knew immediately when I saw it that I wanted to do a rainbow colour scheme. It had the perfect amount of pencils in the box to do rainbow and the houses. Yeah, still looking back at this page, I love it. I believe I used my Brute Finner squares on that one. This one, I believe this is my most recent page, which was almost a year ago, the 10th of May last year. And I did this pastel colour scheme. I think I used my Brute Finner macarons. I love how this turned out. It looks super bright and summery. And I'd love to use the same colours on this page, although it would take some working out to see what I used, but I don't think it would be that hard because the Brute Finner macarons is quite a small set of pencils. Be easy to work it out. This was another of the first pages I did. I remember being inspired by Imogen from Colouring Kid. She added the squares around the outside of this page, and she used sort of a similar limited colour palette, I believe. And yeah, looking back, it's a fun page to look back at. I definitely could do the blending of the backgrounds better, but I like the limited colour palette, and it's a fun one to look at. I coloured this one, and I knew when I coloured it I wanted to use the same brown on this page, so I just did a base of that brown and left it. I need to come back to this page. I think it would look really cute. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Quite a limited colour palette, just the purples, browns, pink and green. I think these pigeons are super cute. This was using my Brutfuna squares. This one is super bright. I know if I went back and coloured it again, I don't think I would colour it this bright. I decided for some reason to do some colourful streaks in the windows. Not sure why I did that, but here we are. I like how I coloured the cats, the calico one and the ginger one, like my cat Lexi. I always like to do ginger cats as sort of respect to her. This, I think, is my favourite double page spread in the whole book. I coloured the patisserie page first, used a limited colour palette, and I absolutely adored how it turned out. I used lots of glittery gel pen in the background as details on the page, and I used the same colours on that page as I did on this page. And again, I just think they look so pretty next to each other. Super spring. Oh no, this is the most recent page I did. This was the 9th of August last year. I called this the Summer Minis page, and it received a lot of likes on Instagram, I remember, which I was quite shocked at, because it's not my favourite page I've ever coloured, but it was fun picking a limited colour palette and just sort of doing each colour at a time. I've written the colours down here so I know what to use for this page, as I would like to copy the colours across. I think it would be quite a quick one to complete. Maybe I'll do that this summer. But this was using Black Widows. I think this was the first time I used Black Widows in this book because I'd heard good things, and yeah, I enjoyed using them as well. Got this double page. I really love the blend of the background here. I did this one first and this one almost a year later. I used Brutfuna macarons for both. Another one that I enjoyed making the 2 pages match. I love this London page. I did quite an unusual background colour, sort of. I know in the Brutfuna squares there's a really unique sort of purpley grey colour, so I wanted to use that to sort of represent the sort of dull London grey autumnal sky. I enjoy the sort of muted colour palette I have here, with this sort of pop of colour here with the umbrella, and sort of the London flag and the pops of red and blue and yellow. Yeah, really fun page. I've done quite a few in the London section, as that is where I'm from. I did these 2 pages. I did this one first, another limited colour palette. I love these purple flowers. I think they look amazing looking back. And I just copied that across on this page. And yeah, it looks like they belong to the same house. That looks like it's the window of this house, which I just love. I love making my pages match. I did these 2 balloon pages. I think I coloured them at the same time. I believe I was doing this page as a buddy colour with someone, and then I believe it was Tonya Colours. This was one of our first buddy colours in this book. Did quite a few in this book. I did this one, and we both actually ended up colouring it as a double page spread in the end. So that was fun to see each other's. I used one of my favourite colour schemes, pink, purple, blue, and that was with Brutfuna squares and a soft pastel for the background. I did this with colouring Sabi, as she is from Norway in Scandinavia, so I coloured this together with her. I really dislike the blend of the background here. It looks a bit better in camera, but in person it looks quite streaky. But I like everything else, so I try to sort of ignore things I don't like so much about a page and just focus on the bits I do. And I believe that is all of the pages I've got done in this book. This is probably one of the books I have the most pages done in, but I haven't coloured in it since last summer. I need to colour more in this book. It is my favourite of hers, but I love all of her travel books, the Europa, Asian and Africa one. So next up we got the Asian one. And I can't remember who I saw had done this. I want to say it was... oh, I can't remember. I'm going to find the name and put it along the screen here. But she was colouring in this book, and she said she's going to pick a colour for each country and have that colour be a predominant colour for that country. So for Moscow, I have decided that blue is going to be the colour that I use in every coloured page from that country. And I did this Trans-Siberian Express page. I was inspired to do this by looking at pictures of the Trans-Siberian Express, and I saw they had these chairs with the dark blue cushioning and sort of a reddish brown wood trim, and I just thought, I love how that looks. I'm going to try and reproduce it for my page. And yeah, I think it looks really fun, quite different from what I would normally do for a colour palette. And then when it came to the rest of the colours, I just picked ones that would go nicely with the blue and the reddish brown. So I did a red and a purple to sort of tie it in together. So yeah, at the back of my book I have written down each of the countries and the ideas of colours I want to use for each of them. So for Moscow I want to theme it to blue, Japan pink, Mongolia green, China red, Vietnam yellow, and India purple. I haven't coloured too much in this book though, so we'll see if when I get to colouring those countries, they're colours that even come to my mind when I get to colouring it. But I think it would look really nice to make each country look quite cohesive. I know I've done more in this book. Where is it? Oh, it's right at the end. This postage stamp one, the cherry blossoms. A lot of fun colouring this. Can't remember what I used. Looking at it, I think it might be the Black Widows actually. Looks like Black Widows, those browns. Yeah, I used some gold glitter gel pen around the outside. I can't believe I've only coloured 2 in this book. I need to get back and do some more soon. I know I want to colour these pages for springtime, so I've got that flagged. So that is the Asia book. And the final Rita Berman book I have is her Africa book. I just love all of the travel books that she's done. I can't wait to see what the next one will be. I'm thinking either the Americas or Oceania with Australia, New Zealand, those sort of countries. One of those. I'm excited to see what it's going to be. Loved them all so far. This is the first page I coloured in this book with these postage stamps sort of introducing you to the book. I used some classic African colours, lots of oranges, reds, blues, yellows, and I used Black Widows for this page and some gold and silver gel pen for the details. And the only other page I've done so far is the signpost page. And I coloured this recently with Disney Meg's colouring. This was a lot of fun. I can't wait to colour more in this book, using lots of bold, bright, vivid colours. But yeah, that is all I've got coloured so far. Oh, I just saw I have a whip. I started this flamingo page for, I think it was an Olga Brownie Find and Colour for flamingo. I sort of was really inspired to colour the flamingo and these flowers, and then I'm not sure if I want to do these leaves as pink feathers or as leaves. I think I want to colour the rest of the image to see how the colours play out, if I want more green in the image or if I want more pink. So we'll see that. I've got my colours written down. That's using my Black Widows. So yeah, need to finish that one off soon. Then I'll have 3 completed in this book. So those are all of my completed pages in my Rita Berman books. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below which page or pages were your favourite. I think one of my favourites were probably from the Europa book. I love the patisserie double page spread. That will forever be one of my favourites, I think. And it was some of my early colourings as well. That was September, that was before September, so it's nice to see how it still holds up. So yeah, let me know what your favourite was, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye everyone.